Welcome, Latam. Let me hear more voices. Let me hear Brazil. Where is Brazil here? Where is Mexico? Where is Argentina? Oh, come on. Peru. Colombia. Costa Rica. And Ecuador. Thank you very much for coming. It's a great honor to have you here. And this is my 6th Cisco Life year. Every year is even better. And let me start to recognize, first of all, the sponsors, who they really have contributed entirely to the event. Thank you very much for such a contribution. But let me share with you one thing. Do you remember 5 years ago when we talked about digitization, digital transformation, which was the role of the entire industry together here? It means that it doesn't sound right. Hello? Okay. So, let me repeat again. 6 years here, we started to talk 5 years ago about digital transformation. We talk about country digitization. Do you remember all the digital acceleration framework that we shared together? And we have worked consistently during these 5 years. Government efficiency, how much we have contributed, all of us together, the entire industry, to develop government efficiencies, to better citizen services. How much we have worked together to increase national competitiveness, connected industry, smart cities. We have a bunch of smart cities already working in Rio, Sao Paulo, Mexico, Buenos Aires, Quito, Bogota, and many, many cities across Latam. A proof of concept. Do you remember when we talk about social inclusion, how important was the social inclusion to increase innovation and creativity? Because we wanted to transform the commodity-based economy in Latin America into knowledge-based economy. It means digital economy at that time. Education for a key factor for qualified job creation and innovation. And you know what? We have trained and graduated more than 1.6 million students in Latin America. We develop our youth as a key asset of Latam. And we have more than 1,500 network academies with more than 3,800 instructors. It's impressive in the way we all together as an industry, all of you together, have contributed to the education. What about public safety, including cyber security? I told you one thing. We have an immense opportunity, and we have to continue owning that opportunity. Remember that through the digital transformation process, market transitions came up. From business and technology point of view, multi-cloud environment. How do you manage the multi-cloud environment? The hybrid clouds, we have worked together to set up the standards. How we make that environment secure with the right security architecture. We predicted that in 2020, we will have more than 50 billion connected devices all across the world. You understand the amount of data that will come from those devices. We need the analytics. We need the IoT platforms. And we need the collaborative platforms to increase productivity, to develop more innovation, and at the end, better customer experience, employee experience, business outcome. Thank you very much for such a tremendous effort all this industry in LATAM have done. And remember, some of you, when we were together 5 years ago, and we discussed about pilots, proof of concepts, today we are in full speed on that. And today we can say together that we are owning that process and really love to hear. I'm very proud to be part of this team together with you. So thank you again. I hope that you will enjoy these days. We have a tremendous presence. Some of those top executives you know very well. Alison Gleason, my boss, that she has been engaged in few. Cisco Live, she's addicted to Cisco Live Mexico, LATAM, I told you. We have Ruba, that she will make a wonderful keynote speaking opportunity here. Thank you for coming. And we have Rick Snyder, that Rick also joined a few years with us. Guillermo, who is a sponsor, great sponsor of LATAM. And we have Mike Kunz, that is always behind all the technology infrastructure, a great speech that he will make as well. Todd Nightingale, our leader for Meraki worldwide. Meraki, we spoke about Meraki last year as well. And Mark Aldrich and other people, thanks very much. Because I'll tell you one thing, there is an enormous commitment from the Cisco corporate regarding LATAM, because they realize the potential opportunities that we have, and they realize the best asset that we have as a geography, which is the youth. That talent that if we cultivate, we will create immense amounts of innovation and creativity. And that's our future. That's the future. That's the digital economy future base. Thank you very much.
Queda con ustedes Ruba Borno, VP de Iniciativas de Crecimiento y jefa de Gabinete del Director Ejecutivo. Un aplauso, por favor.
Mañana habrá que inventar de nuevo la realidad de este mundo. From the darkness of disaster springs the light of people, reinventing themselves, facing incomprehensible loss. Difficult challenges bring unity and strength, buoyed by volunteers and donations, orchestrated by charities on the front line. Hope fuels recovery. A new reality rises. A reality where communications are crucial. People need basics quickly: food, water, the ability to talk to one another. Loved ones are connected, and individuals share emergency warnings and take collective action. Combining people with the network to help push disaster back with every step. Fuerza, México.
Bienvenidos a Cancún. En nombre de todo el equipo de líderes de Cisco, quiero decir que mi corazón está con las víctimas de los sismos, huracanes y otros desastres naturales que han ocurrido este año. And it is times like these that show us that we are stronger when we work as a team, So let's demonstrate that today. For every tweet, retweet of that video that you just saw, Cisco will donate $5 to Habitat Mexico to help rebuild for the victims of the earthquakes. And it doesn't stop there. You can go to habitat.org/Cisco, and if you're a Cisco employee, Cisco will match every dollar you donate, and we'd love to see that number expand significantly. Today, Cisco employees and Cisco has donated over $350,000 to help the victims of the earthquake, and we'd love to see that number go up significantly. So I'd like each of you to take out your phones right now, go to Twitter and retweet, and then when you have a moment, please also go to habitat.org. We are so lucky to be here today, to be here in Cancun for the 6th Cisco Live hosted here. Mexico has a vision of how technology can make the country stronger by playing a key role in developing new opportunities for economic growth, creating new jobs, and fostering social inclusion. Just over 2 years ago, Cisco partnered with Mexico Conectado to connect the unconnected. We worked with them to provide public Wi-Fi access in over 250,000 locations, connecting schools, connecting parks and health centers and libraries, all in an effort to close the digital divide. And by connecting the unconnected, they also set up an infrastructure that would bring the country together in a time of crisis. It was that infrastructure after the September earthquakes that enabled loved ones to connect with their family members, find friends, and also coordinate aid. Technology has transformed our lives, and it has enabled us to be more productive, to connect, to be mobile, and to augment our capabilities with intelligence. That pace of technology is increasing very rapidly. So let's consider the path that we took to get here. First, we saw the rise of the personal computer, where we saw massive increases in personal productivity. We then had the second era, which was the rise of the internet, and we played a pretty big role in connecting all of those PCs and data centers and increasing productivity and knowledge sharing globally. Then in the third era, which is the one that we're in right now, it enabled the cloud and mobile era by connecting public cloud ecosystems, providing SaaS applications that were easily available. But we are now on the cusp of a fundamentally transformative new era, the era of intelligence. In less than 3 years, we're moving from a few million devices coming online per month to that many coming online per hour. And each device is generating its own data, and all of that data has to be analyzed. So in the era of intelligence, the role of the secure network is more critical than ever. And it is with this backdrop that we've made our mission to team with you so that you can thrive in the era of intelligence. Our mission is to provide you with the secure, intelligent platform for digital business. What I'd like to share with you today is our team playbook. You may be familiar with Maslow's hierarchy. Maslow's great innovation was saying that we had some fundamental needs: physiological needs, safety, and belonging before we could reach the ultimate top, which is self-actualization, and that's our full potential. I think there's a digital analog to this. There's a digital playbook that enables people and their organizations to also reach their ultimate potential. And so it starts with security. It's the food, it's the air, it's the shelter, the basic needs. Without it, digitization completely falls apart. If you try to design for security after you've optimized for other parameters, you have to go back and redo everything. You don't build a house, furnish it, put your valuables in it, put your people in it, and then decide to have walls and doors and and windows. And we have no choice but to do this with speed. And that's where automation comes in. Today, our Jasper platform is the largest machine-to-machine connectivity platform. And that platform brings online 1.7 million devices per month. But like I said earlier, in a little over 2 years, it's going to be that many per hour. And you can't scale that way using linear models. We had to reinvent the network. And this automation is a necessary prerequisite to enabling you to address the massively distributed compute and fragmentation that comes with the multi-cloud reality. On average, our customers are managing 5 cloud environments. So now, we've covered some of the basics, and we're getting to the higher order elements. We're now able to unlock the intelligence using all of that data in the network, in distributed compute, and in applications and the microservices that make them up. And it is in this era of intelligence that we finally reach the ultimate peak, which is the human experience, where you can achieve the outcomes that you desire, fuel innovation in your communities, attain zero downtime in your manufacturing facilities, provide the best care to your patients, provide customized education to your students, and do it all with the highest level of privacy and security. And this hierarchy translates directly to our strategy. This is the digital roadmap to enable your organization to reach its full potential. And we are ready to team with you and our 65,000 partners globally to help you achieve your full potential. So let's get started. It starts with getting security right first, because the best digital offense starts with the best security defense. For most, if not all of our customers, security is the primary thing standing in the way of digitization. 71% of executives are slowing down innovation for security concerns. 40% of them are halting mission-critical initiatives because of the concerns about security risks. And then you look at this last statistic and cringe a little bit, because more than 2/3 of them are reluctant to innovate because of security concerns. We've got to address this. It's one example. Imagine you're staying in this 4-star hotel in Austria. And in the first morning, you have a meeting, but before that meeting, you want to work out, so you go to the gym. You come back to your room, and your key doesn't work. You go down to the lobby, and you say, I need to reprogram my key, and they say, in a panicked voice, all of our systems are down, we cannot reprogram your key, and we can't check anyone else into the hotel. Would you ever go back to that hotel again? Would you go to your meeting in your sweaty gym clothes? That's a pretty big inconvenience. But that actually happened to this very hotel 4 different times. It was hacked continuously, and every time the panicked owners of the hotel actually ended up paying the Bitcoin ransom because they couldn't do anything else in order to let their people and their customers back in their rooms. Now, the problem is that it gets much, much worse than just an inconvenience. Earlier this year, 1/3 of the United Kingdom's National Health Service was hit by a ransomware attack using the WannaCry vulnerability, costing over $4 billion in revenue, and worse, all surgeries were canceled, ambulances were diverted, and 8,000 patients were directly impacted. These types of attacks can happen to any organization at any time. And as more things are connected, the threat landscape is increasing, and the level of sophistication of the hackers is also increasing. But the reality is that we're living in a world where both sophisticated and amateur hackers can actually hurt our ability to do business. And so to defend against this, we have to ask ourselves, do we have a secure, effective security posture? First, you have to minimize the number of threats that make it in, and then you want to minimize the time to detection and the time to remediation. But our customers are struggling with this, because today, on average, they've got up to 50 different security vendors using point products that are not designed to work together. That's analogous to flying this broken plane made of 50 different airplanes. Would you want to fly in this? And that's why at Cisco, we have focused on providing an integrated architecture that acts as a force multiplier and increases the effectiveness. the average time to detection is still a whopping 100 days in the industry to detect a vulnerability in your network. But with our integrated architecture, it actually takes that down to just a few hours, and we're working on continuing to take it down even further. Why is that? Because we see a threat once, and we protect everywhere. How many threats do we see? Over 20 billion threats are blocked by Cisco every single day. That's 7 trillion every single year. To give you a sense of scale, Google sees 3.5 billion searches per day. So we block 6 times the number of threats as there are Google searches in a day. And we take all of that intelligence and feed it into this integrated architecture to help make you more secure. We monitor threats across the network, the endpoint, and the cloud. These products stand on their own, but more importantly, they're integrated to work with each other. And then they are backed by the threat intelligence from our Talos group. This group is an elite group of security hackers for good, data scientists who take all of that data and feed it back into our products. They actually found that WannaCry vulnerability that was exploited 3 months before it was used. So none of our customers were actually impacted. And we also view this as a responsibility that we have to share that knowledge with the industry. And so the Talos group is regularly publishing white papers and sharing any vulnerabilities that they find from our customers' products or our partners' products. And lastly, this is all backed by a services team that supports you on that journey. Now, I don't want you to just hear this from me. We have a customer with us today who is a partner from Peru. He exemplifies this teaming model that we have had with our customers. Vulcan Mining is a company that has recognized the value of a security architecture that works together. They embarked on a digital transformation 6 years ago called Vulcan Futuro to reinvent the company. And here to talk about that is our guest, Marco Urtiaga from Vulcan. Thank you, Marco. Welcome. So Marco, tell us about the role that IT plays in helping Vulcan achieve its business strategy.
Ok. Hace 6 años empezó este proyecto en la compañía de transformación digital llamado Vulcan Futuro, con el objetivo de poder hacer el acompañamiento en los objetivos estratégicos de la compañía para los próximos 10 años. Este plan de desarrollo incluía una infraestructura base robusta, segura y moldeable para los avances de la tecnología. Sobre ello, el deployment de nuestras aplicaciones base, de soporte e inteligencia artificial. Y finalmente, robótica, inteligencia artificial y procesos automatizados.
That's amazing that you put together a 10-year business strategy and then you also included artificial intelligence in it as far back as 6 years ago. So I know that you're leading the security team and it's a small and mighty team. So what keeps you up at night?
Considero 3 puntos importantes. El primero, la protección de la información que nosotros consideramos confidencial. En esto puedo mencionar estudio de exploraciones, la propiedad intelectual de la compañía, nuevas licitaciones en las cuales la compañía puede estar envuelta. Consideramos que si esto cae en manos de nuestros competidores, estamos en serios problemas. Segundo, el aspecto operacional. Creo que para todos los que estamos en el mercado minero, sabemos lo complejo que es en nuestras unidades el trabajo con las contratistas. Para nosotros ha sido un gran desafío poder interactuar con estas contratas para poder interconectar nuestros sistemas. Y tercero, la concientización. No es una tarea simple en las unidades mineras establecer una cultura de seguridad de la información. Es un objetivo que hasta el día de hoy continuamos sin ello.
So those are some of the same challenges that everyone here is struggling with. Securing the data and making sure they protect their intellectual property, having the best operations even across third-party contractors. And then the last point you hit is really important. The culture and the awareness and making sure that everyone is constantly thinking about security the entire time. So I know you've been working with Cisco for a long time. Can you tell us about how you partnered with Cisco?
Yep. El roadmap que nosotros diseñamos hace 6 años fue diseñado con una arquitectura a través de capas, desde la parte perimetral hasta la seguridad interna. Aquí podemos mencionar tecnologías como firewalls, IPS. Esta arquitectura, con los avances de la tecnología, se ha ido fortaleciendo en estos años, pero por otro lado han ido incrementándose los desafíos para mitigar riesgos. Pongo un ejemplo, protegernos en todo lo que significa ataques de seguridad avanzada. Consideramos a Cisco un asesor de seguridad para nosotros y un socio estratégico para el cumplimiento de estos objetivos.
Well, we thank you for the opportunity to partner on this journey, and I'm curious, what's next for Vulcan?
Somos un equipo reducido y siempre estamos con la misión de hacer más con menos. Uno de nuestros objetivos es justamente buscar soluciones que nos permitan dar el concepto de lo que es seguridad gestionada, procesos automatizados, y otro de los grandes objetivos es buscar soluciones en el cloud que nos permitan el aseguramiento adecuado. Esto en base al roadmap que nosotros tenemos para el mediano y largo plazo.
Marco, you can count on us to help you in that journey and continue with Vulcan's digital transformation. What Marco is talking about here is a very different world that calls for a whole new network, and we will be there to team with you on that journey. Thank you, Marco.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure.
We live in a world defined by less. Less time. Less budget. Less of everything. And yet more of everything. More data. More threats. More on the line. We live in a very different world. And in this world, you can't use yesterday's technology to solve tomorrow's problems. For that, you will need a very different kind of network. One that uses context to turn the data generated by the entire planet into intelligence. Solves issues before they become issues and learns from each one. Sees billions of threats a day and stops them in seconds, even when they're hidden in encrypted traffic. Configures millions of devices and connected things. Not in months, but in minutes. A network that turns business intent into business results. A network that can take us from where we are now to places we haven't dreamed of yet. This is an entirely new era of networking, and only one company on Earth can deliver it. Cisco, the network. Intuitive.
We are in a new era. And in this new era, it is time to let the machines run the machines. Because we've reached a tipping point, and the old way of doing things is just not scalable. And so what have we done? We've reinvented the network. We've had thousands of Cisco engineers work on rewriting the network operating system from the ground up, using modern data models, using open APIs, and enabling you to program the network. We've then taken this high-performance hardware and we've added pervasive compute. So what that enables you to do is get new innovation that we're working on today and innovation that we haven't even thought of yet. This now sits on a cloud-managed dashboard, Cisco DNA Center, where you can manage your network infrastructure and where you can manage all of these different applications and innovations that we will continue to roll out. Innovations like software-defined access, wireless assurance, and encrypted traffic analytics. And like I said, those that we haven't even thought of yet will keep coming. This is the beginning of redefining your ability to do work in the era of intelligence. And I like to use an analogy here, which is Tesla. In the year 2015, those who bought a Tesla, it was an electric car, but at the end of that year, they actually received an over-the-air update that enabled that car to drive itself. They didn't have to change the hardware. It was delivered through software innovation. This is innovation you could not get on a Honda Civic from 2007. You had to have the highest performance hardware capable of receiving that software-delivered innovation. And that's what you'll see from Cisco. Because DNA Center, we will use to continue to bring innovation to you time and time again. But what's even better is we've actually made this a platform for you and our partners to innovate. So we've expanded the ability to innovate on top of this platform by opening it up
so that you too can scale and innovate. And one of those capabilities is using machine learning of the network to look at massive data flows, analyze them, and determine if there's malware and encrypted traffic without decrypting it. This is something that was thought to be impossible, and we've been able to do it. We can maintain the privacy of our customers and also provide them with security. Now, I have a very funny friend who's going to tell you how it works.
Deception. People use it all the time. And if you know what to look for, you can spot it. There's a science to it. Psychologists use it, professional interrogators use it. I'm pretty sure my grandmother uses it on me. It allows all of those people to see when someone is hiding something just by watching their body language. Jen, how's that bouillabaisse?
That's great. Thanks for the recommendation.
Now you see how her nose is wrinkled up at the top? That's a sign of disgust. And the raised upper lip? Same thing. Why? We don't know. Is she allergic to shellfish? Is she allergic to soup? It's unclear. What we do know is that Jen does not like that dish. Enjoy.
I will.
Look at the crow's feet around his eyes and the pushed up cheeks. He's happy. Corner of her mouth? Contempt. They're in for an interesting night. I don't need to listen to these people's conversations. I can tell what they're hiding based on their body language. Now, what if we could use that method to detect encrypted threats on the network just by looking at packet flow body language?
Packet flow what?
Oh yeah. Welcome to the future, Jimbo. It's called Cisco Encrypted Traffic Analytics, and it identifies suspicious behavior within encrypted traffic without decrypting it. How? When hackers hide malware inside encrypted traffic, Cisco can identify that suspicious behavior by looking at the metadata of the flow. Using machine learning and analytics, it actively learns what's normal behavior and what isn't. And so, as hackers adapt, so do you. And that, keeps you one step ahead. Yeah!
Did you ever think you'd hear the term packet flow body language? So you're going to see more and more innovation delivered through the network intuitive. It's understanding your context, all of the data that you have, the business intent that you actually want to apply, and then constantly learning and improving and optimizing. It's breakthrough innovation that also focuses on making it simpler for you to manage your IT environments. So how does intent-based networking come together in the real world? Let's take an example of a healthcare provider. They're adding a new campus. In this campus, they have patients, they have doctors, they have a lot of medical equipment. Normally, they would send their networking equipment along with an IT professional who would log into each box and configure it. That's the old way of doing things. Now, with the Network Intuitive and with DNA Center, you do all of the designing, provisioning, and policy deployment in one area. So first, you start by creating a unified fabric of the entire campus and all of the campuses together. Then, you segment the policy based on doctors and nurses who should have access to medical records, guests who just want to watch Netflix while they're recovering, and then also you want to segment the devices like the HVAC systems and the MRI machines and the hospital beds so that they are segmented from the rest of the network and cannot be infiltrated and then go into other areas. Lastly, through DNA Center, you actually have visibility into what's going on in your network. You can see where things are going well and where you're having some problems. And then you can now begin to correct those problems, quickly diagnose, quickly troubleshoot, and eventually get into predictive maintenance. So what's the value that our customers are getting out of this? In a third-party study using just software-defined access, our customers saw a 67% improvement in network provisioning performance, an 80% improvement in issue resolution time, a 48% reduction in security breach impact. That's just with software-defined access. And then a 61% reduction in operating expense.
And this is important because we are all being asked to do more with less. The workload is increasing, and so it needs to become more manageable. And we're not just simplifying the network, because we also want to simplify the cloud. Tongue in cheek, I ask, who gives the cloud? Because there is no such thing as a single cloud. We know that 85% of companies are evaluating or using a public cloud. And we know that almost all of them are using multiple clouds. So what our customers actually need is to optimize this multi-cloud reality. And what does it look like? Many of you started with on-premise data centers and private cloud running large monolithic applications. Moving those applications is sometimes an impractical and large feat. And in fact, when you've got inelastic applications where you can predict the utilization, it actually makes more sense to keep it in-house. Companies like Uber, Netflix, Etsy, as soon as they reached a certain workload capacity, they actually brought it back in and realized significant operational savings. But that's not enough. We know that you and your peers across your organizations want to innovate quickly. You must have burst capacity needs, and you want to be able to take advantage of everything that's coming out from the public cloud. And so in addition to your private cloud, there are many public clouds. In fact, on average, you've got about 5. Some of you are operating in countries where data sovereignty laws require that the data stay within geographic bounds. And in this world, you have to support a very complex multi-cloud environment. What started as an innovation enabler, what started as a dream of simplicity, actually ended up providing complexity, fragmentation, and many of our customers feeling like they no longer control their data. They no longer can control the policy that's applied, and they have security concerns. But ultimately, what you care about is actually the application. Wouldn't it be nice if you could run the right workloads on the right cloud at the right time? So what are we doing about it? First, we enable you to securely extend your private cloud into multiple public cloud environments with virtual routers and umbrella security. Then, we bring the best of the public cloud and provide that experience on-prem with various partnerships, like Microsoft Azure Stack on UCS and Docker, where you can be enabled to have container as a service in your environment. But we knew there was much, much more that we could do. What if you could develop in the cloud and deploy it anywhere, and you didn't have to rewrite the code? What if you could increase the software velocity and not be concerned about the security? What if you could choose the cloud provider based on the needs of your workload? And that's why we teamed up with Google Cloud to make an industry-changing announcement last week. We integrated our network, our security, and our multi-cloud capabilities with their open Kubernetes architecture. We took Google's cloud technology and brought it on-premise to run on Cisco HyperFlex and bare metal. And so that developers now have a modern developer environment wherever they want to develop. This is a true hybrid experience. You write once and deploy anywhere, and you do it all securely. Because nothing really matters unless it's secure. And so we're going to enable you to protect your multi-cloud identities, protect your data and applications, secure the endpoints and users, and secure the applications, workloads, and data. And with Cisco Cloud Center, you can now move your workloads between clouds seamlessly as you need them. Let me walk you through a quick example. DirecTV charges about $100 to $200 for a fight. And for the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, boxing match that took place, they actually put up 400 streaming servers just to ensure that the quality was good of the streaming, because if you were paying $200 a fight, you couldn't afford any quality issues. They had a very complex multi-cloud environment, 8 private and public clouds in 25 different regions. And it was pretty overwhelming. They had no visibility, no governance, and no security across them. This was unmanageable without the right platform in place. And so 3 years ago, we teamed with them, using Cisco Cloud Center for governance, visibility, and control across all of those cloud environments and user groups. Cloud Center made the unmanageable manageable. And that's what we're going to do for you. This is a complex journey, and we want to team with you. We can work with you to develop a robust plan, meet your business objectives, do it with the right sequence, do it with the right support. Our goal is to de-risk your multi-cloud adoption and enable you to innovate faster. And to help you de-risk, we have to give you visibility into what's happening in your environment. Using analytics, we can now unlock insights across the entire business, not just IT. We've applied analytics and machine learning end to end. Starting with security, we block 20 billion threats a day, and we take all of that intelligence to secure your environment with umbrella and encrypted traffic analytics. We also use network analytics to provide optimal performance of your network, like in wireless assurance. And with tetration, we're mapping both your private and public cloud applications so that you can have real-time visibility, not only in the dependency mapping, but also the policy that's applied across all of those applications. In our own Cisco IT environment, we actually used both tetration and app dynamics in order to look at our clouds, our data center strategy. And it was coupling both of those together, where we used tetration to find redundant applications, and then app dynamics to enable us to ensure that those business critical applications, which were transacting about $40 billion in revenue every year, were not suffering as we were making changes. How does app dynamics work? It monitors and analyzes the application performance. It traces and monitors the performance of every user action and quickly isolates the issue down to the code level. So as you're rolling out new innovations, you can actually tell which line of code is contributing to any performance issues. And it's very scalable. It captures over 1 trillion events per month. Why does scale matter? Lloyds Bank is the largest online bank in Europe, and they have about 13,000 customer logins per minute. And they're very innovative. They're continuously rolling out new innovations. But the only way that they would find out if there were any performance issues was if a customer called and said, I tried to order new checks, I tried to move money around, and then they would take that cue and IT would start triaging those issues one by one. What about the issues that took place that no one called about? They were being reactive, and they really wanted to evolve from reactive to proactive. And that's where they brought in app dynamics. They wanted analytics and visibility across their entire landscape, and now their innovation velocity increases so much because they can roll out the innovation and see if a customer is going to experience a performance issue before the customer calls. Their chief digital officer actually said that IT were the paramedics before, and now they're the brain surgeons. It's pretty amazing. And they're going to continue to innovate and grow. And so is AppD. The next generation of app dynamics is moving from just the performance of the application to the entire business process. With Business IQ, they process map the entire customer journey. For example, Lloyds Bank could be looking at a business process like a loan, and they can now follow a customer who might start in the browser, then go to the mobile app, and then end up in their retail bank. This links the full customer journey from the application to the business performance and ties it to the actual business metrics. And as more and more sensors are coming online and more data is being gathered, we actually want to inform the business processes and operations with all of that analytics. And so we developed an IoT analytics platform called Cisco Kinetic. This monitors data in motion. Get it? Kinetic? So you can take action at the right time. And much of the data that's gathered from sensors is perishable, so you actually have to take the action in real time to make use of it. And that's where Kinetic comes in. With Cisco Kinetic, our customers can now extract data from millions of connected devices at the edge, compute that data, apply rules to the data in motion, and reliably and securely deliver that data so that you can take action. These actions can enable things like predictive maintenance, manufacturing optimization, and in some cases, they can save lives. In the United States, in the state of Tennessee, there's a very treacherous road that gets very dense fog. And it's a road where there are many fatalities as a result of the lack of visibility. We partnered with the Tennessee Department of Transportation to put fog visibility sensors at the edge at the road so that when visibility became too dense and the drivers couldn't see, it would actually change road signs, lower a gate, and change the speed limit on that road, rerouting traffic to avoid those fatalities. That data is processed at the edge and acted on immediately. So essentially, we've shifted the value equation. Here is where the insights are turning into actions. And sometimes the insights are saving lives, and other times they're helping you build community. And one amazing community is that of the Chivas fan base, recognized around the world by 40 million fans. Chivas is one of the 10 original founding members of the Mexican First Division. They've won over 20 championships, including 12 MX League titles. Cisco teamed with Chivas to make the Chivas Stadium the first smart and connected stadium in Latin America, changing the way that stadiums are built. I want to welcome Amaury Vergara, Director and Vice President of Innovation, Chivas TV. Welcome, Amaury.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here.
Congratulations on the championship last year.
Thank you. We'll hope to do one more again.
We will be rooting for you.
Many more.
We will be rooting for you. I know you are very passionate about the fan experience.
Yes.
I'd love for you to describe that fan experience for us.
Well, we've been very passionate about having the fans, once before they get to the stadium, already be excited to what they're going to experience in the match. So we've been working very hard how technology can help us achieve that.
So what technology are you using to back this up?
Well, we launched Chivas TV very recently, and we think that's a missing link that we needed in our team to accomplish that. Obviously, we have our apps. They're working, and they're very successful. And obviously, the experience in the stadium is very important to us.
So you've got the connected stadium. You've got thousands of fans, tens of thousands of fans connecting at the same time. You've got Stadium Vision, and you've also got Chivas TV's mobile platform so that fans can engage wherever they are, both in the stadium and when they're at home.
Correct.
That's really exciting. And so I want to know what you're really excited about, because this sounds pretty awesome.
I'm excited for the future of the team. We think that we have a brand that it could go global. I think we have the values, we have the champion team. We have to work on many things, and we're very ambitious. And I think technology it's a very important step of this process.
So you used the word values, and Cisco really has some pretty strong values. And I wanted to know, why did you choose to partner with Cisco?
Well, we think we're the best team, Ruba, and I think we need to partner with the best.
Thank you. We definitely agree that we're the best team together. So, Amaury, I know it does not end there. I know that you are now activating an entrepreneurial ecosystem in Guadalajara. Can you tell us about that?
Well, I believe in my city. I think Guadalajara is becoming a very important city in terms of technology, and there's a lot of young people who want to be involved and a lot to do in the terms of industry or sports industry. And when we want to be that pioneer, we want to be leading the new developments in the industry of sports. And so we're working very close with the communities. We're going to work even harder. And I think with Cisco, we're going to accomplish how we can bring all together in this developing community of technology.
We love it when technology not only provides a better experience for your customers, but also activates a community, creates jobs, and enables people to innovate, fans providing innovation for the fan experience. Correct. That's really amazing. And so, Amaury, I know we talked about teaming and leadership, and I want us to share a video that you put together on teaming and leading together.
Correct. Hope you enjoy it.
Thank you.
Se han formado un grupo espectacular. A los que se cayeron nos levantaron, mantuvieron una energía tan positiva que eso es lo que se nota. Así que yo estoy realmente orgulloso de poder dirigirlo, la verdad, más allá de estar en la final o no. Son un grupo como poco en el fútbol mexicano. Y eso es impagable, muchachos. Yo se los agradezco.
Yo diría que es como una familia. Hay mucha armonía, mucha convivencia. Se ha formado una familia dentro de de este equipo.
De verdad, una familia donde siempre quieres que le vaya mejor a tu compañero.
Nunca me había pasado estar en un grupo así tan unido, de poder apoyar junto al compañero y salir adelante juntos, de defenderse uno al otro. Yo creo que
la lealtad, el amor por lo que hacemos y por no fallar a los que están al lado de nosotros.
Que eso es lo que representa este equipo, ¿no?
Disfruten que están sus padres, sus abuelos y todos mirando y esperando el éxito de ustedes. El éxito nuestro es la alegría para ellos. Con qué poco se conforman, ¿no? Con vernos sonreír. Entonces, ¿nosotros nos vamos a dejar el alma? ¿Nosotros nos vamos a tirar todas las pelotas afuera para ganar otro título más? En 10 minutos arrancan a comerse al rival, a mostrar por qué son los mejores. ¿Por qué somos los mejores? Son 40 millones más todos nosotros, somos un montón.
Yo creo en los mexicanos. Yo creo de verdad en los mexicanos, más allá que estoy obligado a poner mexicano. Creo de verdad en todos ustedes. Y el día que ustedes mismos crean en ustedes mismos, superan al mundo. Lo superan a cualquiera, muchachos.
Este equipo va y va a seguir yendo. Va a seguir yendo y los años que vienen seguirá creciendo y va a ser el equipo que llene los ojos de fútbol a este mundo futbolístico de México.
Decirle a toda la gente que
voy a dejar toda la cancha, me voy a matar.
Que este torneo le vamos a dar grandes alegrías.
Queremos entregarle más títulos, queremos ponerle más estrellas a este escudo y
que sigan creyendo en nosotros y nunca desconfíen de nosotros.
Que nos tengan fe.
Tengo mucha ilusión de quedar campeón.
Y creo que no hay persona más feliz de que estar en casa de nuevo. Y con toda tu gente que te conoce desde siempre, y voy a dejar todo por ellos.
What a great story of leadership and teaming. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to actually introduce you to one of our great and humble leaders, Mr. Sean Curtis. Sean has actually been part of the Cisco family for 20 years. He calls himself Cisco Demo Guy, but he's actually in charge of every technical experience that you have here today. So Sean and his team put together all of the technology experiences you're having, from the demos to the Wi-Fi system that's been here. This man is a true adrenaline junkie, because he does demos and understands every product that we have. And when you do live demos, I know I get nervous, but Sean thrives on it. So I want to give a big round of applause to Sean for everything he's done.
No pressure, Ruba.
Got to make it work, but I know you will.
So we are doing a live demo, but it's not without a net. I've got some backup plans in place just in case, right? That's the right thing to do.
It's always the right thing to do, and it's really exciting to see how Chivas is taking that fan experience and bringing it to an omni-channel all the way from the stadium to home and using Cisco technology.
That's
and
right.
I know there's more that they can do, so you're going to show me a little bit of that now, right?
Absolutely. We want to show how the network intuitive can really help us not just connect, but to manage and monitor those devices we're connecting, and more importantly, secure them, right? So we're starting to see more and more things connected. We talked about the fan experience. They're bringing mobile devices to the stadium, and they want to connect, and they want to stream video, right? We're also connecting operations, the back end of the stadium. We're connecting things like the point of sale, which is business critical. And
So
maybe
that's ordering things when you're in the stadium, ordering food.
ordering merchandise or food. And then as we begin to connect things that have been previously unconnected, maybe like a connected scoreboard, we want to be able to manage and secure those devices from other parts of our network.
Okay,
so let's
great.
show you how we do that, all right? So you brought your mobile device, you're a fan, and you've connected to the stadium Wi-Fi,
Okay.
right? So if we bring up your mobile device, let's see what that experience looks like.
Pretty
Here we
cool
go.
interface. I can order food. I can watch some live stream videos. What else can I do?
Video replays. So for our scenario today, we've actually created a loophole in this application. All right, we're going to simulate that you're a hacker, Ruba. All right, so if you scroll up, you'll see within the application we have locked access to the controls or our operations center.
Okay,
so,
so I just got
select
to a part of the network that I shouldn't be getting to.
That's correct. So let's say maybe you're not really a fan. Maybe you're there to steal data from our network, customer data or point of sale information.
Or change the score on the scoreboard.
Yeah, maybe in this case you're not a fan of Chivas and you want to make the away team.
It's a lot of control to have
All
the
right,
phone here.
so let's bring up our digital scoreboard because it's connected on our network now. And let's see what you can do with the controls right here live.
Okay, so I'm a fan of the home team, and I actually want the home team to score some more points.
All right, so you're adjusting the score real time for us right now, right? Yep. It's clearly not something we want to happen on our wireless network.
No, this seems like you gave me access I shouldn't have had.
That's correct. Let me show you how DNA Center is going to allow us to remediate this very quickly, to set policies for devices, for users, and for the types of applications. All right, so this is DNA Center. This is where I do the design, the provisioning, and set policy in my network, the intent. What do I want it to do for me? We're going to define a segmentation policy.
And so with segmentation here, you're able to give specific access to certain parts of the network based on the user.
That's right. So we're going to add this policy. So these are the groups we have over here. So these are the users, those devices, and those applications. So here's our group of fans. We're going to drag and drop this into our source. And here's our scoreboard. This is the type of device, and we're going to drag this into the destination.
And so you have to create that list once, and then you just drag and drop and apply policy.
That's right. So let me name this policy. We'll call it deny fan. We're going to add this contract and select deny. Okay. I'm going to click save. Now what's happening is this is propagating across our entire fabric of the network. So every router, every switch that needs this configuration of the details to set this policy are being updated automatically right now.
And this is this network right here
This
that we're
is
using.
this network that we're using live right now on our demo network. All right? So it takes a few seconds. What's really important about this, let me give you an example, a historical. A few years ago, there was a large retailer, and they were actually infiltrated through their HVAC system, their heating, ventilation, and air conditioning.
And what did the hackers get by going through the HVAC system?
So by installing malware on the HVAC system, and they actually did this without really knowing that, the hackers were able to infiltrate and steal customer data.
Okay.
All right, so this is
So
ruining...
segment your HVAC system, folks.
That's right. So what we're showing is how to segment things on our network. And what's really cool about this, Ruba, is this is at layer 2. So we're able to do this segmentation even on the same access point or same SSID on our network.
Oh, very cool. So
Very amazing. So let's go back to our application here for the fan experience.
Okay.
And let's bring up our scoreboard. And of course we timed out here. Larissa, if you can give me your password, please. Don't
this
look.
is actually the biggest security risk, folks. Do not share your password with anyone.
All right,
no matter
there we
who
go.
asks.
All right, so let's go back to our scoreboard, please.
Okay.
Go ahead and see if you can get into the controller.
Okay.
All right, so I can already tell you what's going to happen here, Ruba. This is going to time out here. We're going to sit here and it's going to spin, and then eventually you're going to get an error message here.
You already applied that policy.
We've already applied the policy. It was updated real time here in a matter of a few seconds. But more importantly, it was a matter of a few clicks, where that may have taken me hours at a box-by-box configuration level to do.
Okay, so now you can see that it's actually starting to time out. It's just spinning at the top there.
That's right.
So that's great. So that was something that normally would take how long? Done in just a few seconds?
At least hours to go through the network at a box-by-box level, maybe even longer.
Okay, huge value add, and then great security impact here.
That's right.
So what else do you have for me?
Well, let's talk about insight. So we just showed you context the intent of what we want from our network. So this is another part of DNA Center. We call it assurance. This is giving me visibility into what's happening real time on my network.
Okay.
Okay?
So what are we looking at here?
So right now we're looking at the wireless health on our network, the clients, and whether they're able to connect or not, and whether they're having a bad experience. So let's shift gears and think about the employees who are using wireless devices in the stadium. Maybe I'm a concierge and I'm delivering food to you, and my mobile device is actually that point of sale, right? So I'm using that to charge you for your order for your meal.
So it's important that it's working and I'm not experiencing any issues.
If I'm not connected, we're losing revenue, right? And we're losing the experience with our fans.
Yep.
So let's show you how we can quickly identify and troubleshoot where to find that problem in the network. So we've identified our client that's having a problem, and if I select that client, what we're seeing is actually a topology view of our entire fabric. So from the internet, across the WAN, down from routers to the switches, all the way to the access point and the client here. And I can see that there are some errors already
There are a couple of items
here.
in red, and so what are those saying?
Well, they're telling me there's something to start looking at. So let's go ahead and look at this switch that's the next up line from our access point. And we're going to use our device 360 to take a closer look at this. And right away, what's really powerful about this, Ruba, is it's identified we have a reachability issue here between the fabric edge and between the fabric map here.
So it showed you the map and where the problems exist, and then now it's telling you actually what the problem is?
It's telling us what the most likely problem is, and more importantly, if I select that, it's going to start to provide recommendations for me to take in order to remediate that. So look at other things, look at the fabric map. Maybe I want to run a path trace in this case, all the way to the client to determine where that problem exists in the network.
So this seems pretty cool, but I just want to understand the value here. How long would this normally take in the old way? And we already saw just how quick it is with Cisco DNA Center.
Right, so you mentioned this earlier in your presentation. A lot of times people aren't even reporting the problem to IT, so there isn't even any awareness at all unless there's a trouble ticket opened, right? So we're losing out on the capabilities of incoming revenue or those business critical applications when we have no insight.
So now we've got visibility into any issues that might be in the network.
That's right. And recommendations on how to go and solve that problem quickly.
That's pretty cool. I think the recommendations part is really amazing, where it's just telling you, okay, now this is how you're going to solve this problem. Now, Sean, I know you've got a little more.
Yeah, absolutely. So you talked quite a bit about how we're continuing to innovate, yes, and we want to drive innovation through Network Intuitive. So I want to show you this is really a sneak peek. We haven't announced it yet, but I think it's worthwhile sharing.
Okay, I think it's worthwhile sharing too. It's really great to see a sneak peek, but again, live demo, Adrenaline Junkie, the floor is yours.
All right, let's take it away. All right, so this is also within assurance, right? So what we're looking at, and actually what I've done is I've switched to one of our customers' networks. They're a beta customer, and this data lives in the cloud. So we've anonymized the data so we can take a look at this. But this customer came to us and said,
so it's an actual customer data.
We're using a lot of business critical applications on our wireless network, and we need to understand how they're behaving and when we're having issues with that wireless network.
Okay.
And wireless networks are really tough to troubleshoot, right? There's so many different factors that are involved. It could be the client, the operating system. It could be the application. It could be the switch upstream, as we just saw in our last scenario.
Yep.
Right? So what we're looking at here is actually throughput. And if we look at the first graph here, there's a couple of things I want to point out. The first line that you see, the dark line with the dots across this is the actual throughput of our wireless network, or that access point, okay?
That's the real data collected from the customer's
The real
environment.
data that's coming in. The green band represents the predictive information, right? This is the machine learning that we're using, that we're starting to incorporate and ingest into the network, okay? This predictive analysis is actually learning based on the history of the network itself, all right?
So eventually it'll start to compress as it improves.
It's going to get smarter and better, that's right.
So I see something else that you haven't described yet, which is those vertical red lines.
That's right. So this is where we actually had an issue. What occurred was our throughput dropped below the threshold of our lowest threshold for predicted throughput, right? So that's actually an issue. So I want to show you how the machine learning has actually provided us with more insight. It's actually recommending that we look at something else here. This is called signal to noise ratio on our network. And it's recommending that this may be another attribute to go and investigate. So if I look at that, you can see there is actually a spike during that occurrence. So we're going to correlate that with some other information. In fact, I want to add interference here. So RF is a big problem. It's a challenge on our networks. So I can look at that interference over time here. All of these things help to correlate both my knowledge as the IT professional, but also the knowledge we're getting from machine learning.
And so you've got a bunch of data here, and with machine learning, sometimes you actually have human intervention to tell the machine,
That's right.
is it headed in the right direction? So how does that work here?
Absolutely. So if these things that machine learning has brought me to help identify it and resolve it quicker, I can actually tell it, bring me more of this kind of information in the future when you see this same issue.
That's so cool. I'm really excited for this to come out. Thank you so much, Sean, for showing us the latest in analytics, and I can't wait till this rolls out to help our customers.
Ruba, there's a lot of promise here because it's more than just predictive. Think about what we could do if we could automate the fix for our customers.
And then we get into self-healing.
That's right.
So not only are we helping them solve problems quickly, diagnose where they take place, actually figure out what the issue is, eventually we're going to get to solving the issue automatically.
Absolutely.
This is amazing. Thank you so much, Sean. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ruba.
Just a young gun with a quick fuse. I was uptight, wanna let loose. I was dreaming of bigger things and wanna leave my old life behind. Not a yes sir, not a follower. Fit the box, fit the mold.
So we have an amazing foundation of security, of network automation, of cloud enablement, and of analytics. But we know that countless studies have shown that humans reach their full potential when they come together as a team. So how do we redefine the way that teams work together? How they communicate with messaging, with voice, with video? How they interact with data and act on data from each other and from machines? And how do we enable them to do that from any device, anywhere, at any time? We've teamed with Live Nation to do just that. Take a look.
Just remember, I get one too.
Raj is calling.
Hey, Ryan.
I'm gonna flip you up to the video screen. There you are.
Hello.
Hey, man.
How are things?
It's beautiful here in Miami.
So I want to share with everybody the revisions that we talked about last time and what we were doing with the video surfaces. I know we had some concerns about the screens. What we decided to do was actually get rid of those and make the surface a lot bigger.
That's incredible, man. It's amazing. It's symmetry. You know what I mean? It's simpler.
Yeah, we're putting it into motion today, so if I could get you guys to sign off on it, I will get this over to Zito. I will see you guys at rehearsal.
It's amazing what teams can do together when they don't have to worry about the technology underneath. With Spark, you can actually start a call or a collaboration on documents or a video conference from your mobile device. You can then walk into a building, you can open up your laptop, sit at your desk, and move the call there. Or you can go to a conference room with a Spark board, and just like you saw in the video, with one swipe, move the call to that. The technology works for you, not you working to make the technology work. And this is also a platform for innovation. That's what's really exciting about this. It's pretty cool technology on its own, but what's really cool is because of open APIs, you can now innovate on top. We can also integrate with a bunch of other SaaS companies, as we already have, so that you can access your Dropbox folders, your Box folders, any kind of program management tool that you're using. This is a platform for innovation that takes away the complexity of the technology. And now for something else that we just announced last week. We announced on Spark the world's first enterprise-ready voice assistant for meetings. With Spark Assistant, you now don't have to worry about getting to a screen where you dial in about 25 different digits to get into a call. You can actually say, hey, Spark, let's get started. And we use natural language processing to know what meeting is on your calendar, know what you're trying to accomplish, and then have you join the meeting. It can even have you say, hey, Spark, call Guillermo Diaz, freeing you from having to look up his phone number and dial in all those digits again. And so now, unrestricted and unshackled by clunky technology, you can team together and accomplish what you want to achieve. I have always believed that technology makes us better. It can augment our capabilities and enable us to reach higher. But the technology moves fast, and so must we. And so at Cisco, we're committed to ensuring that you have the most advanced skills, access to training, access to certifications, APIs, tools, and use cases that expand your knowledge and capabilities. And so through Learning at Cisco, where we've got over 3 million trained, certified Cisco professionals, we've augmented that capability in that curriculum. We've added security, network automation, analytics, and a curriculum on business value, so you can articulate the value IT brings to the business. And we've also been building up our developer community of over 400,000 developers today who are utilizing those open APIs and software-defined kits, or software development kits. They're using sandboxes to experiment, learning labs to grow, and community forums to team and augment their individual capability. Now, access to technology and training can change lives. It can change communities, it can change countries. And that's exactly what we've been doing with Cisco Networking Academy. Net Academy provides IT skills and career building for university students, for secondary education students. Today, globally, as of today, we have reached more than 7.8 million students in 10,000 institutions in over 180 countries worldwide. And 20% of those students are here in Latin America. To date, we've trained 1.6 million students. 450,000 of them are in the curriculum today in over 1,500 institutions with 4,000 instructors. And we just celebrated Net Academy's 20th birthday. And I want to celebrate a very special person, a man who overcame insurmountable odds. Luis Alfonso grew up in Monterrey in a difficult environment with drug cartels and youth gangs that were tempting young people every day to lives of violence, narcotics, and crime. And it was with Net Academy that Luis, who had an internal talent, he already had a penchant for IT or a passion for IT. With Net Academy, he found a lifelong career doing what he loves. Please welcome Luis Alfonso. Welcome, Luis. Thank you for joining us, Luis. So I want you to describe to us the environment that you were in before Networking Academy.
Bueno, primeramente, muchas gracias por la invitación. En aquellos tiempos antes de Cisco, Monterrey pasó por una etapa muy difícil. La violencia aumentó drásticamente de la noche a la mañana. Eran balaceras, eran muertes muy diario en las noticias. Familias se la pasaban muy tensas, incluyendo la mía. Yo no ayudaba en nada. Me la pasé gente violenta, yo siendo violenta con mi familia, violenta con mis amigos. Mi madre siempre trató de inculcarnos por un buen camino, y yo fui todo lo contrario. Si mis hermanos eran un ejemplo, yo era la oveja negra de la familia.
So you grew up in a rough area. You yourself were a tough kid. You felt like you weren't contributing to your family, no matter what influence you had from your mother and your siblings. So how did Networking Academy change your life?
Muy bien. ¿Cómo cambió Cisco mi vida? Yo pasé Cisco con los cursos, tomando como último curso emprendimiento. Ahí fue donde entró mi interés en querer abrir lo que es mi propio negocio. Y ahí cómo Cisco pudo haber cambiado mi vida, en el simple hecho de que me hizo abrir mi negocio. Me hizo tener ese cadillo, me hizo tener esa pregunta de ¿por qué no me exploto? ¿Por qué no puedo dar yo más de lo que soy ahorita? Cisco cambió mi vida dándome un crecimiento personal y tanto profesional.
So you're a very modest guy. You went from being expelled to actually getting a full scholarship to school, to starting your own business and even hiring several of your classmates. What are you most proud of?
Yo me enorgullezco primeramente de haberme superado como persona, de haber cumplido todas esas metas que me puse en ese momento, y me enorgullezco totalmente de que Cisco haya podido entrar a mí y yo poder explotar ese conocimiento.
Well, we're very proud of you, Luis, and I know your family's very proud of you. I saw a Facebook post from your sister recently saying that my brother, who was a tough kid, now is on stage talking about how he has grown with IT and is pursuing a lifelong love for technology and actually contributing back to the world in ways that no one would have thought of before. Luis, you're an inspiration to so many, and I know you're mentoring people who also have been going through some difficult times. So thank you so much. You have now reached your full potential, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot more from you actually going forward. Thank you, Luis.
Muchas gracias.
Luis was fortunate enough to have a great team with him. He had his mother, he had his brothers, and he had a team of teachers from Net Academy who had his back. We at Cisco want to be part of your team. This journey towards digitization can be pretty overwhelming. Keeping up takes more than software and hardware. It takes people. And those people need to be experts who have honed and cultivated knowledge from tens of thousands of customers who are dealing with the same problems that you're dealing with in the transformation and in the era of intelligence. And that's where Cisco's Advanced Services team has put together business critical services. This is not the same services team you have been used to. This is a brand new way that Cisco is helping you and supporting you on this digital journey. We're taking experts, we're coupling it with that analytics, that predictive knowledge, and then providing that roadmap with you so that you can achieve your business objectives from analytics, automation, compliance, and security, helping you make informed decisions, reduce your complexity, reduce your risk, and do it in a secure way. We are on your team, providing you with this playbook and the services that help you become successful. I'd like you to take a look at one more video.
I've seen what it takes to win. I've seen the greatest coaches, teams, and organizations in the game. But the game is getting faster, more complex, with demands to accelerate performance and transform into a digital leader. Most teams struggle to keep up. But this season offers new opportunity for anyone to become a champion. So who's next? There's no open lane to victory when talent is in short supply. To catch the most value with the right assist, you need an edge, a secret playbook of technology strategies drawn from decades of analysis and millions of plays. Cisco has it. While you're out there making strides, it's predicting your opponent's next play. While other teams are scrambling, you're making the smart move again and again. But the threats keep coming. Unexpected downtime could cost you the season. A loss from penalties won't put banners on the wall. So defend this house and strengthen your security. Machine learning and AI turns defensive strategy into offense. Triple your uptime and do more with the talent you have. A healthier organization with more confidence to meet challenges fast and resolve them even faster. Now you're 7 moves ahead as the clock runs out, because a lead is a win if you don't look back. This is the new era of predictive services, a strategy playbook and all-star team that can pave your championship run. Cisco Business Critical Services. Accelerate your game.
Predictive services. It's pretty amazing when you take human experts and add to them all of this intelligence and augment their capabilities so they can make better decisions, act faster, be more competitive, and succeed and thrive in the era of intelligence. We are on your team. We want to help you through your digital journey. That is why we exist. I started out with Maslow's hierarchy, where there were basic needs until you achieved self-actualization, and your full potential. It could only be achieved until you took care of those basic needs. If you look at the digital hierarchy, we're fulfilling the foundational needs with security, automation, multi-cloud enablement, and helping you reach your full business potential with analytics and augmenting the human experience and teaming. This impacts you, your teams, your communities, your cities, and your countries. And so whatever your ambition, Cisco is here to team with you the entire journey. We have the technology, we have the partnerships, and we have the services. And helping you traverse that path to reaching self-actualization is our mission and our commitment to you. So I want us to get started today. I want all of you to go check out the World of Solutions, where you see innovations from Cisco, you see innovations and demos from our partners, and you can interact with each other. I want you to take advantage of the great content, all of the speakers that we have brought here today, all of the experts that you can connect with, and this great industry networking that you can do with each other. And most of all, I hope that every single one of you has a great time. Thank you so much for joining us in Cancun, and thank you, Cancun, for hosting 6 Cisco Lives in a row.
Si el ritmo te lleva a mover la cabeza, ya empezamos como es. Mi música no discrimina a nadie, así que vamos a romper.
Con lo mío todo se puede, la fiesta la llevo en mis genes. Yo soy la reina de los nenes.
Gracias.
La gente no se detiene.
Gracias por haber estado con nosotros. Los invitamos a pasar al World of Solutions y nosotros nos vemos aquí mañana a partir de las 5 de la tarde en otro día especial y además con grandes sorpresas. Si no ganaron nada hoy, mañana hay nuevas oportunidades y seguramente más música. Yo solo les digo que no se lo pierdan. Disfruten Cisco Live 2017. Gracias y muy buenas noches.
Alestra, la marca comercial de Axtel para el mercado empresarial de gobierno, te da la bienvenida a esta edición 2017 de Cisco Live. Me complace invitarte a vivir con nosotros la experiencia de uno de los eventos de tecnología más importantes a nivel mundial para profesionales de TI como tú. Compartimos con Cisco, nuestro socio tecnológico, el objetivo de impulsar a las organizaciones mexicanas a través de la transformación digital de sus procesos de trabajo. Ahora, conceptos como nube, Internet de las cosas, Big Data y Analytics, entre otros, son parte de nuestro diario platicar. Están convergiendo en nuevas soluciones para todos los mercados. Este nuevo escenario hoy ya es una realidad. Se estima que para el año 2019, más del 60% de las 3,000 empresas más importantes de América Latina dispondrán de equipos totalmente enfocados a la transformación digital y, lo más importante, a la innovación. Alestra y Cisco hemos hecho una exitosa mancuerna acercando las tecnologías más avanzadas y las soluciones más completas al sector empresarial y de gobierno en nuestro país. Entendemos claramente que este evento es una valiosa oportunidad para explorar junto a ti las oportunidades del futuro y especialmente de tu organización. Te felicito por formar parte de esta comunidad. Yo soy Ricardo Hinojosa, Director Ejecutivo del Mercado Empresarial, y espero que este evento sea para ti todo un éxito.